All right, here we go. Here we go. Howdy, folks. Hope you're doing well today. I'm off to the side a little bit for just a second. Give me a moment. All right, that looks good enough, huh? Yes. Hey, hope you're doing well today. Thursday. Nose to the grindstone. Going to be turning diamond painting pins. These diamond painting pins today are called the birthday confetti. So these are Abby's birthday week blanks. And so we decided to do something a little different. Use some of the Swarf noodles from previous stuff and then incorporated them into the blanks that I've got over here. Let's see. You'll see them better over on the other side, but this is essentially what they look like. But yeah, they're pretty cool. A little bit of color in there, like a transparent, lucent blue. Transparent, you can see all the way through it. Translucent, you can kind of see like light through it. But you can see both. Once we get to turning, you'll start seeing what I'm talking about here. But yes, if you could, let's get started. If you could just hang out, have a good time, ask questions if you got any, and let's get to it. I was trying to level up a little bit with the stuff that's on the screen, but this does not seem to be wanting to do what I want it to do. All right, well, we'll just continue anyways. All right, we're just going to hide that. We got some things going. We'll work on the other stuff a little later. But anyway, these are the birthday confetti that we're working on here. Okay. Let's get the party started. Okay, I think I'm going to, if we get a subscriber event, hopefully that'll pop up. I'm not sure, but we'll hope for the best here. But that would require somebody taking initiative. While I'm live, at least. I've got to see it while I'm live, so I can see what it does. Okay. Alright, here we go. One more thing right quick. Going live, turning diamond painting pens on YouTube. Okay, well that's interesting. Is this off? Good. ASY, asymmetry, asymmetrical. Okay, toothbrush, handy dandy toothbrush. You're gonna want one of those. It helps take care of the Swarf noodles as they start building up. Did you know that Swarf is actually from the metal machining? Swarf is usually the coils that you get from turning on a metal lathe, but we use it with resin as well. So. Okay, so asymmetrical, big side, little side, and then we're going to do some beading. One of the problems with using Swarf is when you put it into the resin, it likes to trap air. Even if you put it in a compressor, which is what we're under pressure, I mean. We do that. However, it does still like to trap air under the noodles themselves. So noodles are kind of like this, and they were put in to the resin when making the blank. So pretty unique use of some of the other materials that you come across. At least if the noodles look pretty cool, adds a pretty cool effect. It doesn't really displace that much volume, so here is that. Yes. This spot right here, and then this spot right here. Let's see if we can trim it down a little bit further. Okay, and then the middle area here. Make it all real good again. Yeah, of course, when you fix one, there's another one that pops out. It pops up. Hope everybody's having a good Thursday. Yes. My goodness. So there's a couple things that you can do for a hole like this. Basically, you just do a little drop of CA glue in there, and that should take care of it. Yeah, you can even see the noodle that held or hid that little spot. There. Keep going. We'll hold it off. Anybody know if you can share a Spotify? I'm listening to Spotify, but you know, copyright reasons, I don't want to put it on the stream. Also want to give credit where credit's due, you know. I don't want to take away from the artists or anything, but man, it'd be nice to have some jams. And if you have been here before, you'll notice that the setup is a little bit different to where I'm just focusing on a horizontal or a landscape view here. Give you a better look at what it is that's going on. However, there is a noticeable difference in the viewership. So it's kind of one of those things that I guess it's a balance, you know. On one hand, you want to have that exposure and all that. But then on the other hand, it's like, man, I'm not getting as many eyeballs. But what can you do? What can we do? I guess I can go back to vertical. Or if you are coming from vertical, let me know. I'm pretty sure I selected that option, so it should be doing that. Hey Brian, what's up, man? Yes sir, getting an early start. Yes indeed. What do you think about the landscape? More zoomed in effect, you know. I haven't quite decided if I like it yet or not. There's a drastic difference in the views, but you know, it does look better, so there is that. But when people are swiping on their phone, you know, you don't hold your phone in vertical, you know. So it's a balance, I suppose. But the reality is I did have both of them set up to be both vertical and horizontal, and then decided to try out one of YouTube's new features of the vertical capture. I'm pretty sure it shows up in like a live, or shows up as live, but in the shorts area. I'm thinking it's a testing type of thing to see how well it's received by the overall YouTube community. So pretty neat. But how you been, man? Good holiday and everything? I've talked to you a little bit since then, but nothing too much. Little bubbles here and there, man. Best we can do is get them smooth, and then Abby will fill them. But yeah, I'm more of a fan of the view as well. Let's see. Spent time with the family? Nice, man. That's always good. That's always a good thing. Let them know you still care, you know? At least a little bit. Man. If I'm shaky, it's because I had a little bit caffeine. A little hyped up on caffeine. So yeah, got a little bit of a jitterbug. So you see me shaking this one. It'll hopefully go away in a little bit. Man. It made it hard to set anything up while I was typing. Yeah, we just got like a espresso type of machine, like the instant. It's kind of like a K-cup kind of thing. It's a DeLonghi espresso thing. But you put a little pot in, and then it spits out nice espresso. Man, that thing is really cool, but my goodness. I won't be going to the mate this year, so but we do have our other pin shows confirmed this year. So, pretty cool. Looking forward to it. First show is coming up in February, so trying to get a little bit ahead, and then work on some more fountain pens. Where we can have some inventory. Then if I get done with these as well, I've got sections to make. Oh, speaking of which, you had a chance to look at the project that we were working on before, man? Bubble right there. Oh, nice, dude. That's exciting. Oh, good. Look at that. This little guy is coming out to say hey. We don't want that to come out to say hey. Get back in there. All right, give me my Band-Aid. Get back in there. Let's see. Let me get a little brass rod here. Oh, jeez. All right, and then my little thumper. Tighten it back up. There. Shouldn't come out anymore. Hey, no worries, man. No worries. What you up to today? You at work? Yeah. The viewership is drastically different. I mean, even the people stopping by is kind of crazy. But I guess the best thing I can do is use some of the content that I get from this view and then repurpose it as some little parts of kind of YouTube videos. Overview. Let's see. Video capture. Auto screen. There we go. There. Need to be that tall, huh? No. This is what I'm talking about with the jitterbug. Hey, there we are. Now you can see. I have to duplicate it and then switch cams and see what that's like. Whew. It's toasty. Need to turn the heater off. Cooking in here. $30,000 BTUs from the heater does a pretty good job heating it up. But I went to my mom's last night, and my her boyfriend has a 60,000 BTU thing, looks like a jet, a jet engine, and it goes from 30 to 60 BTU. And I was thinking about using that to knock the chill off initially, and then using the other one to maintain. So I'd set that one up, give us a head start in here for like a good, probably 10 minutes or so, something like that. And then yeah. But I gotta say, it has been like the warmest winter we've had in a while. And dry, for that matter. Drier than my sense of humor. Yeah, man, it's kind of crazy, huh? Been pretty warm where you are as well. Took off today and tomorrow. Showing rain tomorrow. Uh-oh. Does that spoil your plans that you had? Or you do intend on, or don't intend on being outside anyway? Oh, cool. Running parts in the shop. So you're taking off work, but you're still going to work. Gotcha. Working on your son's truck. Uh-oh. brake light on and the dash won't turn off. Uh-oh. Won't turn off. I would say it's a fuse, but not a power fuse. I don't know. I'm definitely not a car builder or repair person. My dad, on the other hand, he did that in his career. That's one of those things where, you know, you can probably find the information on YouTube to do what you needed to do and stuff, but you gotta weigh the pros and cons of your time, which is kind of strange because some people don't really view their time like that. And I mean, if that's what they want to do, by all means, go for it. But I take it to a shop and then just have them deal with it, because that's what they do. I mean, on my Jeep, on the other hand, I had a Jeep Wrangler, a 93 Jeep Wrangler for a bit. And that, on the other hand, was pretty straightforward. Everything was really easy to get to and all that. So, pretty easy to do stuff on that. Is there a list out yet for who's going to the mate, vendor-wise? Because I know that other shows are starting to get their lists together and all that. And then, are you planning on doing a demo this year? I'm not sure yet on all of the above. Gotcha. Oh, no worries. I was just asking if there was a vendor list that was put out yet. So I know that's the thing to do at the beginning of the year. For those that are trying to get it set up and orchestrated and all that. Not all of them. Right on, right on. Anybody you're looking forward to vending with again this year? What was the guy's name from Stadium? I forgot his name. Michael, what's up, man? Hope you're doing well, sir. Oh, Michael, I did look at the blanks, by the way. Those will be interesting. Have you turned any of them yet? I took a look at them yesterday after we talked about it. Stadia. Okay, Michael. Gotcha, gotcha. I thought you were saying hey to Michael or greeting him when he came in. You have news, huh? Oh, geez. What kind of news? You're gonna be an international pin sensation maker? Just remember me when you get all the way there. Oh, you were? Gotcha, gotcha. Let's see. You cast some hybrids today. Cool. Are they stabilized? Or were they stabilized, I mean? Or no? And then did you start with the burl, the textured surface? Or did you marry them up hoping that the resin's going to get in there? I don't know, man. Who knows? Social media is a crazy thing. You could just all of a sudden go crazy. You do that one video a certain way and boom, everybody knows about you. You landed a pin sponsor? That's awesome. Shoot, you're already ahead of me. Kiln dried wood cutoffs. Gotcha, gotcha. Hey man, that's awesome. See? You're already further ahead. You're the man. Good job, Michael. Like I said, remember me when you get up there, okay? Hey man, nothing wrong with a Chinese company. That's where a lot of the kits come from anyways. And then, I mean, how... I guess that's the other question too, man. It's like, okay, I made it on a Chinese lathe, or I made it with a Chinese tool. Well, this isn't a Chinese tool, but, you know, I used a Chinese camera to show you this, or whatever. How much do people want it to be, you know, domestic? What's the name of the company? Don't worry, I'm not going to try and snipe them from you or anything. I can't speak for everybody in here, but I won't. I'm sponsored by myself. Hey, yeah, you and me both, bro. You and me both. You have no problem with it. The UK supplier has just launched a new kit, charging 5 times. I mean, that's not unusual. I mean, maybe if you were a regular, it's a little weird, but you know, maybe not super unusual. Okay. Just flowing you some of the gear, huh? Good deal. See, comes back to not necessarily what you know, but who you know. Or who knows you, or spots you. That's what I'm saying. Social media is a crazy thing. It could be wicked crazy awesome, and then it could also be defeating. For me, it's the latter. It's crazy. He pays $128 for a slimline. Works out to $98. Okay. Gotcha. That's not crazy, I guess. I mean, percentage-wise, it looks crazy. And then over a lot of them, it would be crazy. But you know, onesie, twosie, probably not that big of a deal. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that kind of goes with everything, though. And people build businesses around that in particular. So if you wanted to do that, go for it. But, I mean, there is something to be said about the convenience of having somebody a little more local that already has the stuff. But if you're not in a hurry for it, by all means, that's what you probably should do to save some coin. But on the other hand, something that I think about is, you know, you're voting for companies to stay around with your dollars. So, are there ways to maximize profit? Yeah, absolutely. But, you know, kind of want to support those that continue keeping some things going. So I don't know. If it's just money, then yeah, it's definitely cheaper to go direct to the people that make it. But just a different way of thinking about it, I reckon. But yeah, I do buy bulk as well. But I also buy from others as well that sell at retail price. Yeah, as a business, you do need to watch the pennies. But like I said, like if you're thinking about it from like a business owner perspective, you obviously want to make as much as possible because that's what business is. You want to make as much as possible. But from a consumer I guess, standpoint, you want the retailers to remain, and so buying stuff from the retailers, even though it is more expensive, you know, it does kind of enable those things to continue. I mean, look at Amazon and Walmart and Amazon and bookstores too, for that matter. Like, I watched a documentary about Amazon, and what they were doing is trying to put bookstores out of business by selling at a net loss because they had their other company to cover those losses. And not to mention, from a business perspective, it is good to actually have losses because those are deductible. Obviously, this is not legal advice, okay? But there is deductible purposes that if you are losing on your business, then that's also another avenue that's relevant to be aware of. And it kind of explains in some ways why some businesses do what they do. Also working on detail of an order of 100 engraved whiskey barrels. My goodness, dude, that's crazy. Have you got a laser that you're doing that with? Or are they already engraved and you're just, what is it? You're already casted them? Or what? What's the deal with that? This was not supposed to be moving around anymore, but it is, so what the heck? Stay. Put some glue in there next time. Obviously avoiding the bearings. Stay. All right, Michael. But yeah, I think there's just some things to be said about that. In a way, your every dollar spent is like a dollar voted for that company to stay around. Marianne, how are you? Working on diamond painting pins today. These are made with some Swarf noodles from a previous turn, and then yeah, it is Abby's birthday week, so she did birthday confetti is what it is. Ah. Oh, you're so nice. I am good, thank you for asking. I might have a little bit of a jitter. My hands are a little shaky because I had some coffee. Not just any coffee, we just got a espresso machine that, you know, maybe I had a little too much, but it's got my protein in it as well, so I gotta hit that up. Abby! Brian said happy birthday. Thank you. And Marianne already did as well. What? Did you show them my finished birthday cake? Oh no, I didn't. Yeah, go get it. We'll have a little intermission so I can show you the birthday pin that made for her. There, let me clean this a little bit right quick. Wait, it's a nicer display. All right, Morty, time to turn you off for a moment. Hold on, let me vacuum this right quick. There we go. Okay, so I do have both cams a little bit. Michael, just in time, man. Here you go. Here's Abby for a sec. Just hold it.
Thank you for the birthday wishes, first off. I really appreciate it. It has been birthday week so far, and I will admit I am tired. So I think birthday week is officially over. We had my birthday with my family on Sunday, and then Tuesday was my actual birthday. So me and John went and did a bunch of stuff all day. We just like went on an all-day birthday date. And then yesterday we went and had dinner with his mom. So I'm tired. That's like too many things for me for a birthday week. So we're done with birthday week. John made me 2 pens. One he showed me before my birthday, like the week before, because he was trying to tell me about it because he's making several of them. Yeah. So
they should have seen me working on some of those.
Yeah, so they're black ebonite caps and they're ebonite sleeved stabilized dyed wood. And what he was saying is he wanted to show me so that if I liked one of the other ones better, the other, like I could pick another one. But I'm definitely going to keep mine, the first one that he made for me.
There. I'll show I'll get the other.
Okay. So these are the other ones that he is making. They're kind of in progress here. So they're black ebonite sleeved. This is the stabilized wood, and they've got copper accent rings. So this, let me put my other one away. So this is the one that he made and finished for me. So it is a purple dyed stabilized wood with the copper accent and the plain black ebonite cap, which I love. And then you open it up and it's got a black Juma section. And then I put I think 1.1 rose gold nib in it. So this isn't inked yet because I plan on putting a blue document ink in it because I have a big project that I'm going to do this year of handwriting family cookbooks for our 2 daughters. I want to get started on that. So one for me and then for them. So I got to get a blue document ink, which I've already ordered. So that's going in here. That's my part 1 birthday pen. And then he was out here like the whole night before my birthday. I think it was like that Monday night. So on Monday, and this is a little of a funky pen, and I finished it yesterday. So I sanded it. John had started finishing it, but as y'all know, finishing is not his forte. So the cap is more of that same purple stabilized wood. And you'll see the difference here because I did CA this cap because it had some kind of deeper cracks in it. there was this hole which he filled with little tiny opal pieces, which is so cool. I love that little feature there, and then did an accent band of the boatite, which is such a cool material. That's what he made my birthday pin out of last year. I had a pretty much all boatite pen with some different accents. And then he did, this is a colored ebonite body. He said that he thought it was going to be more, I don't remember which color. The outside looked way different than the inside. I'm not crazy about the color of this one. I've asked him to maybe make me a black ebonite body, which he didn't do because at one point I complained saying that black ebonite bodies are boring because when you're holding it after you take the cap off, then it's just a plain black pen. But for this particular, with how cool the cap is, I feel like it needs a different body for it. So, but the really cool feature and what he was working on with this one is actually this section here. So he took this section. Do you have a paper towel? He took this section out of a vintage pen. It's a wall gold nib, and it's got this very cool, I mean, it's a little purple because I had some purple ink when we were testing it. It's got a clear feed, and it writes really nicely. And so this part, this top part, is actually what the section is right here. And John fitted it and made a piece, so this is black ebonite as well, that so that we could put this inside of our regular pens. So it's going to be an eyedropper filled pen and has that really cool gold nib on it, which I have not had a gold nib, so I'm super excited about this one. And I'm really happy with the way that it writes.
100-year-old nib.
Yeah. So those are my this year's birthday pens when they come together, so that I can show the difference between. So this is the same stabilized purple wood. This one was friction. Of course, I threw it on the ground. Friction polished. Yeah, with Aussie oil, and so that's the finish that you get with that. And then this one was CA finished. So sorry, I was trying to get the right light so you could actually see. So isn't that interesting? It changes the color, makes it a bit of a deeper purple. I actually really like this finish on this one. The problem for some of them, not for this one, but some of them have some deeper cracks in it. So I'll have to decide if I'm going to CA finish them. So yeah, those are this year's birthday pens. And then John brought in last year's birthday pen. So this was last year's birthday pen. So this is all Bodite and Juma, and it's also black ebonite sleeved. And then this is a very cool custom ebonite section and Operex. So, and this one has a CSI grind on it. So yeah, there's birthday pens for last year, and then these ones for this year. I have been using this year's planners, obviously, because we're in a new year for 2026. And I have 3 Hobonichi planners. I have my weeks, which is for business and appointments. I have my A5 cousin, which is like it's more journal-y than it is planner. And then I have an A6 that I'm doing like a daily quote or poem or whatever in for. Anyway, so I have a ton of pens that are inked right now. So I'm super excited to have some more, because like I said, one, I am very specifically going to put that document ink in it for my project. And then the other one, I don't know what I'm going to put in it yet, but I have a whole full page in one of my notebooks of all of the colors and pens that I currently have inked. So I'll have to decide what I don't have out of the different color ranges that I want to be able to do that. So yeah, I'm excited. All the pens for me.
Yes, of course I did, Michael.
What?
If she wants to ever show it off, it's got to be done by her.
What do you, oh, made me finish my own birthday gift? Yeah. I finished last year's too, by the way. here's the thing. John obviously does incredibly detailed technical work, but finishing takes a different type of patience and focus. And it is like my specialty. That's what I do 90% of the time I'm in the workshop, 95% of the time, maybe even higher. I am just sanding and finishing different things. So he does know that I'm also very particular about the finish.
She won't complain about her own finish, but she would about mine if it wasn't up to what she wanted it to be.
Maybe I might. So he knows me so well to leave it not finished so that I can finish it up to the standard that I want it finished to. So, yeah, that's why. He did finish the, he did finish this one all by himself. And he worked really, really hard on the black ebonite to make sure it was scratch free. What?
Even post-surgery.
Yeah, his finger it still had stitches in it at that point.
I did try.
He did try. He did this one.
No, I also tried the other one, and that's when the other piece chipped out.
He was getting really frustrated with this.
That's why I did the opal inlay, and I got the surface flat and level again, but I know that I didn't have much material left, and so it was either remake the cap or have her do it right the first time.
Because I CA finished this because he was telling me that the wood was really thin. So I took a while to build up the...
Thanks, Michael.
So he did finish this one. And then I finished this one. But yeah.
I spent a lot more time with the nib part of this one.
Which is the best feature of it. And I actually really love that he chipped out that piece and filled it with the opal. So I love the cap, the section, and the nib is amazing. I'm going to put a different body on it.
Yeah, the ebonite was supposed to be more purple, but it ended up being
it's like a gray, green, blue, which is cool. It just doesn't go with this. It needs a different, this ebonite body needs a different cap, and this cap needs a different body.
Black,
you did. I told them why you didn't. Because I complained at one point that black ebonite bodies were boring. However, I think a black ebonite body would be really good for this. And maybe that's what I'll do. You have the black ones in there. I'll finish the whole thing, and then one piece will go with this one, and one piece will go with this one of the black cap and body.
Yes.
There, my wife goes over one in mine.
People that don't know the skill involved will be very critical. That's pretty natural and normal, and, quite possibly we'll get to critique her work in my wheelhouse.
Finishing is, that's the thing, is yes, I am super critical of finishes because that is my whole job. Like, that's my entire job here in the workshop, other than pouring material, is finishing. I am a professional pin sander at this point after more than 18,000 pins, I think, at this point, over the past 6 years. So I feel like I have enough experience behind what I do to be able to have an opinion. But he's right. I do sometimes have an opinion about designs or the way things look. And it's not, the thing is I'm like never critiquing the quality of his work as far as like making it fit and the threading and all that. It's like, I just don't like the way that it looks. And half the time I'm saying that because I don't like my material that I made, by the way. So it's sometimes a self-critiquing thing too, like, oh, I really hate the way that colorway or the blank turned out or whatever. So it's not all him.
Imagination.
I don't have an imagination. Gone. All gone. I don't know if I had one as a kid. I'll have to ask my mom. But yeah, I think we've had that whole conversation before, but I can't picture anything. I have to see it. I have to literally see it. John tries, because he in his head can like picture all of it. He's got all this stuff going on, and I'm not saying I don't have stuff going on in my head. So
Cricket.
He's like, is it just quiet in there? And I'm like, kind of, until I need to think about whatever it is. Is that what this one was from? This one? It is. I think it is.
Yeah.
Interesting. I can't picture things in my head. So he spends a lot of time like telling me all of these details and designs, and I'm like, okay, do it and then show it to me because I can't picture it. No matter how detailed or how many times he explains whatever it is.
The other part of it too is I kind of need your approval for it because you're the one that's selling it. You know?
Yeah, but sometimes you just need a test one. Like I need you to just do one and then we can decide. And I know that's hard, but that is the way it is sometimes. But anyway, yay birthday pens. Yay figuring out inks. I have a lot of inks, especially right now after having just opened all of the ink calendars, which has been awesome because I've actually inked several pens with some of my favorites from the calendars. And I got these cool little organizing things, plastic organizers that I did see, but then John sent me the same one. And I was like, you're right. Because I had last year's like in a gallon Ziploc bag, just rattling around. So now they're in like their own like by day section. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, anyways, I am behind the camera sanding these birthday confetti diamond painting pens for this week's diamond painting pen drop. What you doing?
Oh, here we go. This is the one that I cut it from. That one's just the same type.
That's not the one you picked up before.
No. Yeah, this is the one that I just pulled from here, but it's got a. You're right.
I'm like the outside was smooth.
There we go.
Not lumpy.
So it's a similar.
That's interesting.
But I expected it to be a little bit more.
Well, because even this color looks more blue, but when you finish it, it's like there's like this brownish kind of. Anyways, ebonite can be weird like that. The colors don't turn out the way that you think they're going to, except for black, which is what
even that. This is black.
Yeah, but when you finish it, yeah, that's true. So this is. Let me put my.
Here, you want me to switch cams?
Yeah, just for this for a second.
Cams.
Just for a moment. So this is the unfinished black ebonite cap. And then this is it finished. Like, so it's crazy. It's crazy how brown it looks. Now, this is the regular black ebonite. We did also order true black ebonite, which I don't know if you've done anything with it.
It looks black. Just as black.
Does it look like this when it's turned down though?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, and I have stinky ebonite dust. I hate when I'm in here when John's drilling ebonite. But I do actually really enjoy ebonite. I don't mind finishing it all. I find it is softer, but I don't have issues finishing it, and I really like, I don't know, I like ebonite. I'm a fan.
I've really been enjoying working with it too.
Even
though it's a little stinky.
It's very stinky. That's okay.
Although I will say, ebonite that we have gotten from India is stinky. It's stinky.
Yes. This Japanese,
this stuff,
this Japanese ebonite, which is what the black is, and some of the colored ones that we ordered,
isn't.
No, it is not nearly as bad. But some of the like first pieces of ebonite that John got and used are so much worse. So much worse. Because when I use these and use my pens, after I wash them, so I clean all of our pens after they're finished in an ultrasonic cleaner because that removes all of the dust, paste that gets everywhere, and you can see it coming off of the pens. So I do that every time, and then I find that like there's very little smell. It's like very essence of tire smell once it's finished and cleaned. But John's got some of the other ebonite, but he has like a pocket pen that we call his fart pen. He even lasered it to say that because you open it.
I did laser it. It's inside.
You open it now, and it's still, and it's been years, and it still stinks. horribly. Now, I don't think I ever washed it, but yeah,
It's just bad,
it is bad. All right, I get back sanding. I got a few more I gotta do, and then I gotta go do some social media zing, which I don't love.
Sweet.
Oh, I do have to show you something a little bit later that's pretty cool. But
Oh man, Marianne, I let the cat out of the bag, and now she's sharing the bag.
what? I don't even know what that means.
Sending for the bushings.
Oh yeah. No, the bushings are amazing.
Don't forget, Brian.
It's not
Don't
exactly
forget me.
that I want to show him, but it might be something that we can work with Brian to have made, which I'm excited about. So that's a whole other thing. But yeah, we've been using Brian's bushing since the first set of pens.
I used to use thread finders.
Yeah, but then we did searching and you found them pretty quickly, and you ran, so it was nice. I think we're good. We buy a stockpile every time we order from Brian because I go through bushing pretty quickly because of how much sanding I do. But when I say that, I mean like high volume sanding, 50 plus diamond painting pens a week. And then they start getting all curved instead of nice and straight. In turning, John you don't really ever need to switch yours out, very rarely. So what ends up happening is he gives me his from turning, and he gets the new pair, then I sand down his turning bushings. But okay, I won't say anything else. I'm done now.
I don't believe you. Where did they all go?
I don't know. I'm not in charge of your
Got
drawers.
some new ones.
So this is our current little baggie of new bushings. John also kept all the old ones. So we have all of the switch the camera. Yeah. I got my pins in my put them back in my pocket.
There you go.
Like, hold on. Oh, did you already switch it? So here are the sanded bushings. You see how curved they get. Here's the other problem too, because I sand so much that at that point these get sharp on the end as well. And then these are the brand new bushings that are a completely different shape. But we have a whole like stockpile of the old ones. But yeah, here you go. I don't know. They were in a box, like one of your little section box with other bushings. John has too many drawers now. He went from having his one thing of drawers to getting his big Christmas present, which is the big Craftsman drawers thing. And then now he's got a small husky one that we got from a local guy. So now he has too many drawers and doesn't know what's in any of the drawers. That's a project for another day.
High traffic areas.
Okay. Really though, this time.
Mary wants to hang out with you some more.
I'll be here in spirit. I'll be over there in spirit.
You'll be over there physically. What are you talking about?
Okay, over here in spirit, over there physically for a little bit. Because I have to finish a few more regulars, and then I got to go do some pictures and videos of this week's diamond painting pens. I scratched the crap out of my glasses yesterday, and I am still so frustrated about it. I can like see it across my eye.
Let me see those.
You can feel it. It's deep. I called them, and they're under warranty, so I can just take them in, and they'll because it's also got the blue light coating on it, so you can't just like if they do anything to fade it off, it's just gonna.
Change them.
Yeah, I thought about that, but I'm going Tuesday because we're gonna take Evie to get her vision whatever updated, and then I'm gonna drop my glasses off for them to fix. Yeah, to get an updated vision thing.
Gonna update her vision. Download incoming.
Wish I could just update my vision to be better than it is, but I cannot.
Thank you, baby. good seeing you over here.
Oh, they're not straight.
You got shaped ones in
They're
there.
rounded. Because I don't have any flat ones.
Well, give them here. I'll make them flat. It'll take me 2 seconds. I'll make them flat.
Ooh. Oh, never mind. I have one flat. However.
You want me to do it or not?
No.
Okay, I'll get back to it. A little case of John-itis with indecision over there. Marianne said it's good seeing you. But yeah, Marianne, you could send those people my way too if they want to, you know, learn some turning stuff, want to learn this and that. And then if they want to do a mono or mono session, that's also an option. I haven't done any, so I still need some guinea pigs. Heck yeah, that'd be great. But yeah, you know, it's been a rough journey, I'll say, for me, because there was a time where I was very, I guess, protective of the discoveries that I made over turning. But I think this is going to be the year that I start doing a lot more sharing of different things that I've learned over the time and stuff like that. Let's see. You want a mono? Okay. Depends on what I charge. Okay. Well, I mean, for the first go at it, I probably wouldn't charge anything, honestly. You being the guinea pig and all. So, yeah, sounds like a pretty good deal if you ask me. But yeah, I'd start with that. But you know, kind of moving forward with it, I'll probably end up charging whatever I sell that item for. And I think that'll just be kind of the best way to go about it. But I got to factor in the time element of it as well. So yeah, that's just kind of a starting point, I guess, for me. But yeah. But you know, there's going to be a lot of other variables that kind of need to be considered too, because you know, having the specific tools that you have available to you, and knowing like where you are as far as turning and sanding and stuff like that. Just kind of knowing where your skill level is will also have its influence on time it would take. So. Yeah, as far as guinea pig goes, I probably wouldn't charge you at all if you were willing to. Well, we can talk about it at a different time. If you don't know, I do have both a TikTok and a Instagram that I am really not all that active on. But I do check it here and there, and I get on there and scroll. So that would be a good way to message me, or doing that sign-up sheet that's there in the link tree that I've got. I'm pretty sure that is in my the About Me part of YouTube. Yeah, I got to knock out some testers first, and then the other thing I'm working on is having basically a place I don't know if you've seen, there's something called SOOO, SKOOL. It's a Alex Ramosi not Alex Ramosi platform, but he's the one that's an advocate for it. And that's what I am working on right now in the times that I'm not turning. So it's kind of like a, I mean, it is a paid thing, but I have it at $5 a month right now. And basically my goal is to kind of streamline the whole process of getting somebody started in turning. And then also, if you want to advance even further, that would also be a way to go about that. So those are things that I've got in the works, if you were wondering, because I do really enjoy teaching, but when I am teaching, it kind of takes away from me actually producing. So it's one of those things where I have to be kind of mindful of that. Anyway. But what is it that you would want to learn? You'll need to open an Instagram account. Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to show off some of the work that you do, Instagram's a pretty good place for that. And then you'll definitely get people that are interested in that type of thing too. They want to see what you're working on, the kind of creative ideas that you come up with, and stuff like that. That's where some people that that want to do it but don't necessarily have, like, I guess a creative mindset type of thing yet. It's just like it's a muscle that you have to exercise, and so getting inspiration from other people is kind of what people do. So I'm definitely not the first one that ever turned diamond painting pins, and certainly won't be the last one, but I could probably teach the best way to go about doing it if you were trying to do it just one at a time or multiple at a time, and different techniques that I discovered over the trial and error. So it's kind of the intent of it, and it's also to gather like-minded people that want to push themselves to different levels. That's what I try and do pretty often. Like, even when I'm turning diamond painting pins, my goal is to always get the best surface I can. And so this is essentially my spindle work practice. I say practice, but you know what I mean. It's just repetitions of things, and sometimes mistakes happen. And then what are you going to do when that mistake happens? So but no, you don't necessarily need to have an Instagram account. It's just a pretty convenient way to share what you're doing, and then also see what other people are doing in a similar wheelhouse. some of the inspiration I've got is actually from bowl turners, believe it or not. And then other inspiration that I've gotten is from people that make those vertical bars for like a staircase when people are doing custom staircase types of things. So, you know, just applying different things, like mixing elements, is really one of the most fascinating things about it, in my opinion. But also being intelligent about it at the same time, because you can't necessarily just combine anything and expect it to work. You kind of got to have an idea of kind of the properties that each of those things has, stuff like that. Because some things behave differently. But yeah, I was thinking it would be pretty cool to have like a little video set up where it's just, we can have a conversation, talk about goals of what it is that you want to accomplish, and then we can do that potentially before as well, so just to kind of get a better understanding of the goal and then move forward from there, so I can tailor it to be what it is that you want to learn. And for what it's worth, I do have a teaching background. I was in the military as an instructor for 5 years. So I know that there are very different learning processes, and some people learn stuff differently, and so that's kind of the intent behind that. And the other goal with the whole school thing is that I want to make it to where you can just be, or just join one of the workshops, I guess. Actually have it as a workshop type of thing where I'm going to do this one thing from start to finish and then answer questions as I go on each step. And so at least that's one of the goals that I am working on. I have found that I personally am less resistant when it comes to doing stuff live than I am rehearsed. So I know some people, they like to have a cheat sheet, and I'll have a syllabus basically, but I do better when it's just like working as you go and then answering questions along the way. So, but I wouldn't join that group necessarily right now because I haven't put anything up yet. So I don't know if you can even find it. Your parents were both teachers? Cool. What'd they teach? I'm willing to bet that it's not the same thing I taught. Okay, Dad taught auto shop, cool. And Mom was a sub in San Fran. Uh-oh, what time frame? Was she one of those ruler snappers? I was in a Catholic school as well, in middle school and high school. She tutored and taught you a lot? That's good. That's good. So you're pretty fortunate having that type of thing. I think one of the biggest things that it gets overlooked really often is learning how to learn. And I know that sounds like it is what it is, kind of, but some people can hear it once and then be good to go forever. Some people can hear it once and remember it for a week. And then some people can hear it 100 times and then still not remember it. So you have to build like different things in order to make it stand out as something important for them to remember. It's kind of interesting, the different ways. And I guess for what it's worth too, I think if the student isn't learning, a great deal of it falls on the teacher. I wouldn't blame the teachers entirely, but if they don't learn the information, then it's partially because of the teacher. And it's like taking responsibility, right? At least that's how I think of it. If my students weren't doing what they were supposed to do, or performing as well as they should, then it's kind of a reflection on the person that's educating them. But I think a lot of the Facebook groups can be really hard to follow sometimes because everybody's got different ways that they've gone about doing certain things. And I'm not saying that any of them are necessarily wrong, but there are ways to go about different things and achieving the outcome that you want. So I think that's a big part of it, is what is it that you are going for? I think about that too. She was tough. Oh. Well, I'm glad that you still have fond memories. That's one of those things that is important. I still have fond memories of my grandfather, even though I'd be out there helping him split wood for 8 hours a day, and then I get paid a quarter in a sweet tea. But we'd go get a sweet tea from a fast food restaurant right up the street, and then he's like, "Go ahead, place your order." So I asked for a large sweet tea, and he gets the senior citizen tea, and then gives me the senior citizen tea. Well, that's about right. That's about right, Papa. Oh man. But there's so many cool things that you can do. Like, I mean, even with pins, there's so many cool things that you can do. So I try to learn and push limits on things as well. Like, for example, I wasn't going to show, but I will. But this is something that I was working on, and then this is ebonite, and you can actually turn it really thin, and it maintains its structure pretty well. So that'll be something that I'll do later on. And the blanks are really cool, but you know, just pushing limits on stuff, not being worried about breaking. Like these diamond painting pins here are certainly not the most complicated that I could be making. But it's that whole cost of time and also being understanding of your customer base and client base and stuff like that. So it's got to get tailored to all those things. Will I ever turn a free flowing? Yes, of course. The captive ring tool, because it is not going to be the size that you want. But yeah, I've turned captive rings, and then I've even I've made really small captive rings on this. This is a pencil, and then it's just held on by the lead. But yeah. But there was more pencil on the other side. Sorry about that. Yes, that mic is pretty tired. I've worn it out. All right, back. When did it cut out? That was on a pencil, and it was just really to see if I could. And sure enough. But yeah, doing it on something bigger is a little easier too. There's a couple ways to go about it. I don't know if we have any inside right now, but I do have testers, ones that I was learning on. But yeah, that's actually from, where did I see that? I saw, I did the pretzel thing before. There's like a way that it takes a lot of dremeling though, for the pretzel one. But hopefully it sounds like it's back. You haven't heard or seen the pretzel? Let me think about where that was. Where that would be. But I did it on a diamond painting pin. You could do so much with a diamond painting pin, which is so fun. Let's see, go here. Go to the bottom. No. But yeah, I did that a long time ago. I did it on black ebony. I go back to 23. Alright, well, I don't think I'm going to find it quickly, so. But you start with a square, and then you drill 2 or 3 holes in it, and then you have to separate them. Dang. Oh, there's some African black. There we go. So there's that. Anyway, that's the pretzel. I call it the pretzel. Here we go. This is good. But yeah, I didn't sand it. I would have most likely broken it because it's pretty thin. Yeah. I don't know what it's actually called, but I saw somebody do it and I was like, you know what? I think I could do that. And so I was out here with a Dremel for hours. Well, doing it. I could have greatly reduced the amount of time that it took too by having the right Dremel head. But I didn't. And it's more of a novelty than anything else. I wouldn't suggest using that. No, so I'm pretty sure that because I've got it on like landscape orientation, I think that affects how much traffic actually comes. So if I was to switch it back to the vertical, it would put it in a different area where people are scrolling like on their phone. So but yeah, when you stream vertical, it's a lot more people that see it because a lot more people scroll through. So if you are starting a YouTube, that would be something worth knowing. Yeah, maybe I should go ahead and configure it. But it could also be the sound. I'm willing to bet people don't care for the sound as much. It's not a quiet thing to do. Then I also think another thing too is the talking part of it. It's weird, I don't know exactly what it is, but I'm pretty sure that talking affects the viewer as well, the viewer count at least. People are like, I just want to watch you turn, don't want to hear what you got to say. So there's probably an element of that. But yeah, I'll be probably playing around with some more of the settings and seeing have some other things that are engaging and stuff like that. You like the interaction? Yeah, I think so too. I think there's something to be said about it. Like that's kind of the point of why you'd watch a live, I would assume. But maybe I'm crazy for thinking that. Shoot, it could also be the content. It's just not what people want to see. I'm also definitely not a, at least I try not to be like a clickbait kind of thing. Make $1 zillion doing X, Y, and Z. But that is one of the things that people are drawn towards. But I will say this, if you did want to be a millionaire making pins, you're going to have to sell them for thousands and thousands of dollars each. Probably not the way to go about it. Yep. Yeah, I'm more of a, this is what I do. This is what I do. Ask me anything you got. I'll answer. But, you know, not having many people also works out pretty nicely for me too, because I do prefer more personal interactions. That way I can get to know a little bit more about who it is that's here and stuff like that. Everybody's probably trying to get caught back up from the holiday and everything. So. And this is me catching up from the holiday. So, kind of interesting. And it's not even catching up, it's just continuing, really. And then the other thing that's kind of interesting to realize, I suppose, is that people that, not everybody, but a lot of people that buy the diamond painting pins don't necessarily want to see them being made. But I did this basically to show that these are made by me and Abby, and everything that we do goes through the same thing. And that was kind of why I wanted to start streaming in the first place, is to show that that's where they're coming from, and being self-taught. Has its pros and cons, I would say. You have a lot to do with your shows coming up? Yeah. So there's a San Francisco pin show, and then I don't know where the other one is, but it's also in California. Abby knows. But one is in San Francisco. There's also a pin show that happens in London, and there's also one that happens in Japan. Those are the ones that I would also like to go to at some point, even if I'm a spectator. I just want to go to Japan. But I gotta find a travel buddy. I don't know who I'd go with. I also I don't know when it is off the top of my head. And the one that is in Japan, or the one that's in London, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's a short one. But I'm not positive on that. I think it might have been just a day-long show, which would leave ample time for sightseeing and stuff like that. You grew up east of San Fran? Cool. How did you like it? And I guess what time of what year, I guess? It's always interesting to me to kind of see how things have changed, or not see how things have changed, but hear about how things have changed since those people have last been there. I know that North Carolina has grown a lot over the past, it's really 10 years, but it still hasn't really let up either. There's still a lot of growth and development everywhere in North Carolina. Up until 7 years ago. All right. Do you like Florida better? And then are you a beach goer? Is it the water that you want to be around? Is that why you chose Florida? Like being around the ocean? Keeping it on the down low, but North Carolina has access, or yeah, it has pretty short commutes, I'll say, to the mountains, the beach, the good food. Charlotte's right there. It's a lot of things in the North Carolina area. A lot of good schools. We've got Duke, Carolina. We've got some pretty good community colleges. One of the best PA programs that I'm aware of, physician assistant programs. NC State has one of the better of the agricultural programs, and like farm animal vet stuff. Yeah. It's got a good variety of people. No, you like the water, but moved here closer to sun. Right on, and grandkids, cool. Ah, work. Yeah. I went to, where did I go? I did training in California when I was in the military. Near San Clemente Island. That was fun. Cold. We did water training out there. And they're like, yeah, great whites are out there. They like the cold water and all that. I was in the Air Force as a pararescueman. It's funny because people hear Air Force, Chair Force. Hey, you need button pushers too, but that's not what I did anyway. I flew in helicopters and jumped out of planes, and our mission was to recover aircraft pilots that went down behind enemy lines. I guess is the gist of it. But we also had the NASA mission for a while, which is why we were required to be nationally registered EMT paramedics. This is a neat little tidbit about that. Marines for a couple years? Heck yeah, what'd you do? Yeah. And then I guess the other question is, what made you leave? Train. Worked in the office mostly. Yeah. Gotcha. That's cool. Well, thank you for your service as well. Appreciate it. There was a time where they had a bridge program where you could be a recon Marine, and then you could have a pretty fast track into the Air Force as a pararescueman. Maybe even combat controller, not sure. But I knew a former recon guy. He was pretty cool. It's a long story. Maybe another time, huh? What's funny is I wanted to be a firefighter. That's all I wanted. I wanted to be a firefighter, and I went to all the different branches. And so I went to the Navy, and they're like, oh yeah, well, everybody's a firefighter, because if you're on a submarine or a ship or something, there's a fire, everybody needs to do it. I said, okay. Then I went to the Marines, and they're like, that's a hard one to get. I said, okay. Then the Army, they're like, you don't have a guaranteed anything in the Army, it's just going to put you where they need you. And then the Air Force, my recruiter in the Air Force was he was a firefighter that was doing the recruiters program, and he's like, dude, don't you want to like jump out of airplanes and go save people and stuff? And I was like, that sounds pretty cool. Sure, let's do that. And so that's what I ended up doing. It's like, if it doesn't work out, then you can try again for the firefighter, be a firefighter. But it did work out, and so that's what I did. And then I was in the Guard for a little bit. But that was not working out because at the time I traveled a lot. I was gone 6 months out of the year, and that just doesn't go well when you're trying to hit weekends at the Guard. So it ended up not working out with the Guard. but met some people. Then I considered other avenues, government avenues, but the things that I wanted, you had to do 2 years of something else before you can try out for it. And, 2 years is a long time to, well, it's a long time to allocate towards something like that where your skills start to go down, and if you're not practicing certain skills, they'll start to go away. So I opted not to do that either. So one day while I was abroad, I decided that I wanted to try out turning. So I built up an inventory list of things that I wanted Abby to purchase for me. And then when I came home from that trip, it was all out in the workshop, basically right where I'm standing actually. It was all right there, and everything was in boxes, so I had to unpack it all, and then I just started learning. Practicing, trying out different stuff. I think one of the big things about it is one of my biggest problems was I was so concerned about breaking blanks because of how much they cost. It's like every mistake, dang, it's like $5, $10, $20. But knowing what I know now, it's just a part of it. You do have to break stuff. I'm not saying doing it intentionally, but like as you're learning, you're gonna break stuff. You're gonna get catches. You're gonna have weak spots in different blanks, and it's just gonna blow up in your face, So and then that one of those things being my block partially. And then I deployed again, and then told Abby that I wasn't going to go anymore. I was going to stay here and learn even more about turning. So I was out in the workshop for a good 12 to 15 hours a day, just practicing, breaking over and over again. I was turning wood initially. Not even good wood, by the way. I was turning redwood cedar, or I guess some people know it as juniper. But eastern cedar, or I'm pretty sure that's also juniper. That's what I wanted to do for a while, and then all these different ideas came up, doing this and trying out that, just seeing what I really enjoyed doing most. And then Abby started making blanks, so we had to learn a lot about that. And this is about 5.5, 6 years ago, I guess now. I think about 6 years ago. Yeah. 6 years ago. And she started making blanks, and then I didn't feel as bad about breaking those because she was learning as well. So some of the blanks were, everybody's got to learn. And over time, we both got better at it, and we had some time, basically. I guess a little bit of my schedule was this. I would deploy for 2 to 3 months, and then I'd be home for 2 months. Um, and then one of the times I came home and said I'm not leaving anymore, and then we can pick up the story again. But yeah, that was basically what it was. And then my mom was diamond painting, and it's like, I can make that handle for you, or a nicer handle for you with the stuff that Abby's making and I'm doing. And spent quite a while trying to streamline the process as best as I could to actually make it efficient as I could. And so, yeah, that's what we did. And then we started selling them on Etsy. And we went through a lot of different iterations and struggles with each other because we were still navigating the whole business aspect of it. So kind of carved out roles that we had for each other, and well, I mean, that's kind of it. We found something that worked and then just continue doing that. But I was always still working on different things. When I wasn't like production turning, fountain pens were my other thing that I really enjoy doing. So that's why I still like doing fountain pens. And probably will continue doing that for no one. Probably just continue as long as I can. But there were definitely a lot of growing pains that occurred. And there's always that fear of like, oh man, did we make a mistake doing this? And, you know, for some things, maybe, I don't know. You can't really turn back the clock and see if it would have gone better somewhere else, can you? You worry about turning too thin? Yeah, it happens. It happens. You'll turn it too thin, then you'll get a catch, and then it snaps right off, and just move on. Just move on. Don't get stuck on that. Is the best advice I can give. Move on. You'll think about it some more later and kind of see what happens. It's great we work together. Man, she probably would have a lot to say about that. She definitely would definitely have stuff to say about that. I'll leave it there. But yeah. But it's pretty awesome. Sometimes you think you're too old to start a new endeavor. Shoot. I don't know. I don't think so. think if you're like realistic with the particular endeavor, I don't think that that's the case. For example, I'm never going to go be in the NFL or anything like that. Not that I want to, but you know, I couldn't anyways. I was not. I was an athlete for sure, but that was just never something that I wanted to do. But I don't think so. Funny that there is a Twitch streamer that streams World of Warcraft, and her name on Twitch is WoW Grandma, and she plays World of Warcraft, and she's, you know, she actually has quite a few people that hang out with her and talk to her, so there's, you know, a lot of story in there, but no, I wouldn't say that that's the case. At least I wouldn't think so. I think wood turning is also like a older. When I first found out about it, it seemed like it was an older person thing to do. Like, oh, you make bows. And like for the longest time, I was like, okay, you get a lathe, you're gonna make bows. Because that's all I really saw. And then I found pins. And it's like, that's cool. That's doable. And then I learned about bespoke pins or kitless pins, custom pins for specific people, you know, bespoke. And I was like, that's cool. So, no, I think that it is one of those things where, you know, turning is one of my therapeutic things that I do. Like, I'll be out here, I'll sit in the chair over there just thinking about what it is that I can do to advance in a particular craft. And so I'll think about the approach of everything and how I'm going to do it. And then I'll go through the steps, realize that some things didn't go as planned, and then you just kind of iterate on them. So I think if you're still able to learn, you're still able to start new endeavors. But, you know, the diamond painting pin community has been great, and we hope that we've, you know, been able to offer enough to keep the diamond painting community happy and stuff with butterfly effect players. And then we also like the fountain pen community. Definitely don't do near the production that we do as far as diamond painting pins go, but you know, that's not really my intent. I don't think I want them to be a pin production at a large capacity for large volume. So, kind of interesting. I used to talk all the time to Abby about different ideas, different ways, and different stuff, and things like that. So it kind of just seemed more of a natural thing for me to just hop on the stream and talk to people on stream, or just talk to myself on stream if nobody was there, because, you know, that is how it began. I was here by myself for a long time, but it's okay. I think if I had too many people at the time, it might have been weird for me. I probably would have been a little different and maybe even more awkward. But I started streaming, I guess, about a year ago or so now. I think a part of that was being really nervous about it. But you know, you can learn as much as you can. Like I'll still put on things that I try to learn from, but the reality is until you start practicing whatever it is that you want to get better at, it's all just theory, I guess. You don't necessarily know what it is that you're going to have a knack for or be interested in. And not to mention, as you start learning more about it, you realize there's so much more to learn. And as far as fountain pens go, I like that aspect of it. So something that I've constantly done with fountain pens is being very deliberate in how I go about incorporating different things and getting comfortable with whatever it is, whether it be the process or the nib or the threads, the diameters, all that stuff. I'll get comfortable and have it repeatable, and then just have that be as part of my system that I've got. No, I don't think it. Well, I guess if you believe that you are, you are. If you believe that you are not, then you aren't. I think it's a matter of mindset. But I wouldn't suggest a 60 or 70-year-old person going out and playing frisbee golf necessarily. Or not frisbee golf, but a frisbee sport. They're going out to play soccer. So that's kind of where I was going with being mindful and realistic with the goals that you have. But I'm a pretty firm believer you can make a living doing just about anything. And then it comes back to, what do you want to earn a living doing? Or what do you want to be known for? That type of stuff. And you just start doing it. We like kind of being known for colors, for one. Abby does a lot of colors, and the things that we offer are very colorful, which was one of the things that we found very important. And then the other thing was our finish. Abby didn't just come up with the finish on her own, okay? We both worked together to come up with that. She was just predisposed to being better at it. Not to mention, I didn't have a burning desire to be better at it, because I used to turn a pen, and I would leave it on my lathe. She would come over and sand it, and then that one would come off, and then we'd do it again. I'd turn another one, she'd go here and sand it. But as you can see, that's not how we do it anymore. But we only had one lathe at the time. Thanks for the pep talk. just saying, just saying. Things that I think about. Yeah, I think that's what you want to do, is to do it. And as long as you don't stop and you learn from each move, then you can be successful with whatever it is. Probably not a good shining example of how to be a successful YouTuber, but hey, I don't necessarily, I don't know. I don't look at the analytics and then apply it, so that's on me as far as not being better at YouTube. Oh, I didn't think it was. I didn't think it was. I'm sorry if I gave you that vibe. No, I didn't think it was a criticism. They're just things I'll continue to ramble as long as I think about that whole avenue. Because I think I do my best to kind of put myself in a position like that and think about what it would be like if I was older and then doing something like that. But I mean, people go back to school to become doctors when they're like 40 or 50. That was one of the anesthesiologists that I worked with. They had a different focus in school, and then later in life, once they retired, their spouse had passed, and then that's what they did. They went to school to become a doctor. And was a provider for a little while, and then became an anesthesiologist. So. I'm not sure if I have the capacity to be an anesthesiologist. So that's probably not a route I'll ever pursue. But I also think that if you break stuff into small enough steps that you can get wherever you want to go. I did not see your email address. If you just type the first part and then send it, and then tell me what I guess server, or you can email me at john@maverickpens.com. That's another option. Pretty sure it's also in the bottom area of the About Me. Yeah, that's my email. Sometimes they don't make it. Sometimes the blank has different plans. Oh man, come on now. That one's particularly bubbly. And does my mom still diamond paint? No, she actually crochets now, and which is pretty awesome, I gotta say. We have gotten some large blankets and other cool things that she's made over the years. But no, she doesn't really diamond paint much. A lot of her time is consumed by crochet. And that's another thing that we're...
Well, you could make a business making crochet handles.
Man, the amount of bubbles in that one. Just gonna have to give it to Abby like that. I think I can get far enough down. End up with a toothpick, maybe.
Alrighty, I will be here.
At least for a little bit longer.
Alright, it's just gonna have to be good enough.
I'm gonna go get some water. Oh, here we are. Got some right here.
Well, welcome back. Hope your husband's doing well.
What was he up to? Climbing ladders or something?
Oh, never mind. I know what this is gonna be. Oh no! Sorry to hear about that. I hope he's able to recover swiftly. You were gone for a while. What city is the California Pinto in? What city? I'm surprised I remembered to ask. So there's the Los Angeles. Is there? Are you going to two California ones? So San Fran and Los Angeles. So Los Angeles for the one. Los Angeles in February. And then San Fran in August. LA is a 9-hour drive from San Fran. California is all really big. But yeah, there's the Los Angeles one, and then there's a San Francisco one. Crowded. I believe it. Everybody goes there to have that opportunity to make it big.
Expensive, yeah. I'm not sure what the cost is, but I have heard that it's expensive. Money doesn't quite go as far as it does in other places. What kind of shocks me is that there are people that are there that live really far away from where they work in the city area. Some people commute like an hour. It's kind of crazy to think about. So yeah, so they can afford a home, yeah. It's crazy. I don't know what kind of job it would have to be for me to be willing to drive. You would commute 2 hours? Wow. That's wild. What would you do for 2 hours in the car? Or what did you do for 2 hours in the car? I can't imagine. A long time ago. Yeah, I don't know what I would do or be willing to do, I guess, for a 2 hour commute. Man, my commute to work now is like I gotta go from upstairs to downstairs, walk through the office area, and then through the kitchen, and then I'm in the garage. We have lofty goals, though. I don't know what Bart. I'm not savvy with that. I don't know what that means. But I can imagine. Definitely not what I was thinking. I thought it was like an expression, bored and really tired. But that makes more sense. Okay, so Bay Area Rapid Transit. Not what I thought it was. Thought it was an acronym for bored and really tired. Vinny, what's up, man? How you been? I am indeed. Working on these. These have some bubbles in them. Not from the casting, but from the little pockets that the Swarf is captured and didn't let go under pressure. I really didn't think it would be as... Maybe if you had a vacuum chamber for this particular procedure, it would have helped. Putting the blanks in the vacuum chamber.
Abby, Vinny said, hope you had a good birthday. She says she did. It's been a week long of a birthday. It's a birthday week for Abby.
Went to see all family. The bubbles make it weak? It can, yeah. If there's a lot of bubbles, it absolutely can. But these are pretty small. They're just inconvenient when they pop up on the surface when I turn it down. But yeah, it can absolutely affect it if the bubbles are too big or too many of them. But they're pretty spread out, I would say, to where it's not a concern really. Yeah, I mean, we even she tried to pour them a different way to help reduce the amount of bubbles, but they still made their appearance. Vacuum chamber is difficult with Alumilite. I believe it, but I think for a transparent or translucent, you would have enough time to vacuum them while they're poured, and then also be able to put them into the pressure pot. But I don't know, just a thought, if we were going to do a whole bunch of them, which we're not, so. But obviously we wouldn't like leave them in there just to get the bubbles out. We'd hit it, we'd throw it in there, try to get them gone, and then pull them out and then put them in the pressure pot.
But yeah,
She's gonna have to do a little drop in a lot of them. There's oh nope, just one surface bubble right there.
not ideal, but it is what it is. Boom. 4 Bravo 1. But we definitely made blanks that ended up with more bubbles when we did this before. But we put them into a cup before and then poured them from the cup. So that reduced the bubbles, but didn't eliminate them completely. Yeah, that's very true. So I hear people say people like a flat edge on their diamond painting pins. And yes, it definitely would. But when you do that, well, I mean, you could probably find a good way to go about it. But yeah, it would depend on how steep the surface is that you have them on too. Because even if there is like a roll stop, it can still roll if the degree is too much. Like I know that there are diamond painters that use like a drafting table, and then other ones that have a light under it and stuff like that. So it would depend on what degree it was. And I've thought about a couple different ideas as well when it comes to that, but I haven't actually implemented the idea. But there are ways to do it, like probably when you finished it, I suppose, and you could put it on a belt sander, hold it there for a bit, then you get a flat surface, but that would probably not look very good if I had to imagine. And I'm pretty sure there's another diamond painting pen maker that does that already. But I don't know who off the top of my head. But they do something along those lines, or they cast them to begin with. And when you cast them in a shallow thing, then you can just get the flat edge naturally. But you'll still have to finish that surface because it'll have sharp edges. Clear slow doesn't have a long open time. Yeah, you're right. You're right about that. but I think if you were to use Swarf, you wouldn't really go for color separation because you want to show the stuff on the inside. So you'd use more of a translucent. But you're right about the color separation part of it. If you absolutely had to back resin, you'd use designer epoxy. Interesting. Long open time, you can back it, and then hit the pressure pot. Interesting. I have not heard of designer resin. I haven't looked at different types of resin in a long time. How is that stuff to turn? Other stuff that I have tried, it was Total Boat, but it was not fun to turn, honestly. And it was more temperature sensitive as well. Turns good. All right. Does it shine up really nicely too? Because that's the other part of it that I think the Lumilite, at least from my limited experience with the different epoxies so far, or urethanes, Lumilite kind of has like the best of the things combined. Like it turns nicely, it'll thread nicely, and it can also shine pretty nicely, but pretty sure you can get acrylic even shinier if you really wanted to, but it doesn't turn nicely. So it's just trade-offs for the different stuff. Nice. Well, dang. What, is it more expensive? I would think if it was good and all that, then it might be beneficial. All right. Done. That. Okay. Of course, it's on the lowest part right there. It's better. But yeah, I would think that more people would be using that. $150 for 1.5 gallon kit. That's not bad. Rehearsal. Oh. You want me to go? Okay. 150 for a 1.5 gallon kit. Nice. All right. Well, you know what? I think this is actually a pretty good spot to call it a day on, at least for streaming. But I'm going to continue being out here. Just going to do a little intermission, or, well, not an intermission. I'm going to stop for now, streaming wise. But yeah, it has been a great time. But I hope that you had a good time. Mary, it was nice seeing you. Vinny, if you're still, oh, not if you're still out there, I see you right there. Vinny, good to see you, man. And then Brian, everybody else. I hope you enjoyed hanging out. I know I did. I appreciate you being here, and I will see y'all next time. Yeah. I will see you later. Take care. It is nice seeing everyone.